you are going through something right now that is really overwhelming, that is really challenging you, that is really asking you to expand and to think bigger and to trust and to really open yourself in all ways and take that leap of faith, then just know that this is something that you presented to you because it wouldn't be presented otherwise. So you do have the capability to hold this. Okay, so I've been moving in and out of overwhelm. We've got 10 days till we move out of the house, and I've packed one box. And less than 2 weeks pretty much till we leave the country. And we don't really even know where we're going. We know we're landing in Mexico, and we don't even know for how long. So packing for 5 human beings, me and the 4 kids, Simon can sort himself out, is really, when you don't know how long you're going for, then it can become a little bit overwhelming, and it's just with everything else that's going on. I've been slipping in and out of this overwhelm, and usually the overwhelm hits me at 4 o'clock in the morning. So the other day, the overwhelm hit and I couldn't get back to sleep. So I got up and did my Kundalini Kriya and meditation I do every day. At the end of my practice, I usually tune in with my guides, and I was like, how do I move through this energy? Tell me, what are the tools I can use now? And they really came back and said, are you big enough for this? And now this is something that I've heard the Kundalini Yoga teacher Guru Jagat talk about. And it is something that has always stuck with me because it is so, so powerful. Am I big enough for this? And in that moment of really asking myself that question, am I big enough for this? Am I big enough to hold space for this? Am I big enough to take this on? It changes the energetic perspective of being in the overwhelm, being in feeling like everything is on top of you, feeling like there is just so much to do. And it does something magical. It pulls you up and out so you can see it below you. And from this vantage point, you can look at it and go, am I big enough for this? This isn't me. Am I big enough to hold this? And more often than not, you will find yourself saying, yes, I am big enough for this. I am big enough for this transformation. I am big enough for this overwhelm. I am big enough for uprooting my children from their lives and taking them halfway across the world with no plan. Am I big enough to hold their energy in my aura and make space for them, and am I big enough to hold space for Simon and our emotional roller coaster ride of overwhelm and excitement and, just trust? Am I big enough? And the answer is always yes. And the reason why the answer is yes is because you chose this. The higher part of you chose this experience. So of course you were big enough for it because you chose it. Now we have free choice here in the 3rd dimensional plane. So with the lower mind, you do have a choice. You don't have to say yes to this, but this is something that you arranged before you came to Earth with your higher self and your spirit team. You arranged and predestined this opportunity to expand and grow and for whatever lessons that you have decided that are important to you for your soul's evolution. Now you decided it was going to be helpful, the higher part of you. But now the lower 3D mental mind can say yes or no. If you don't feel like you can hold it. If you are going through something right now that is really overwhelming, that is really challenging you, that is really asking you to expand and to think bigger and to trust and to really open yourself in all ways and take that leap of faith, then just know that this is something that you presented to you because it wouldn't be presented otherwise. So you do have the capability to hold this, to be bigger enough for this. Expand your energy around this opportunity because you yourself have given it to you. So am I big enough to make this change? Am I big enough to hold the family dynamic in my aura? Am I big enough to support myself through this? Do I trust enough for this. And when we say yes to this, am I big enough? Your energy actually expands and you go from a sense of overwhelm, I don't think I can do this, the lower mind, from the higher consciousness and looking at it going, this is it, I can do this. I can do this. So that is my message for you today. You can do this. You can expand around this. You are big enough for this.